Everybody, welcome back to another video here on Financial Friends. Today, we are going to be discussing why I will never own some of the stocks that you saw on the thumbnail of this video, like Pfizer, Coca-Cola, and a couple of others. I have a big reason for this, but first things first, Financial Friends is a community of people who love business, finance, and investing related content. So if that's you, go ahead, hit subscribe, join the friend group. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for 750 subscribers. 1,000's next. We're going to keep on pushing, and then hit the like button if you want to help us on that journey. If you already are subscribed, the thumbs up button helps push this video to more people and to expand the friend group. So without further ado, let's go ahead. We're going to update my portfolio. This is a portfolio I've been tracking for a very long time. If you're new to the dividend journey, there's a whole slew of videos. You can check the playlist up above and kind of watch me really build this portfolio over time. So first things first, like I said, we're going to update the portfolio. We did make one purchase over the past week. That was going to be in SCHD. I made a $25 purchase, in SCHD. That brings our shares up to 3.252. And then cost per share is $77.55. If you want to track your stocks just like this, there's a link down below where it actually shows, dividend tracker. You can click on that link, sign up. It helps support me and the channel. It is greatly appreciated. There's a premium version. If you don't want the premium version, check out the free version. It's fantastic as well. So we made the purchase of SCHD, and that's really going to be the critical component to this video. Why won't I purchase Coke? Why won't I purchase Pfizer? Right? There's a reason. This is that reason. You could see here, I'm looking at all of the companies or all the stocks that are involved in our largest position in the portfolio, by far, SCHD. So let's go ahead and see the dividend journey diversification. We can see here by holding, so by individual holding, SCHD is our largest position at $257.30, nearly 30% of the portfolio. We've talked a lot on this channel about why ETFs, or index funds and ETFs. SCHD is our chosen ETF. FISROX is our broad market index fund that we've selected. Why I like these to be a massive part, or hopefully about 50% of the portfolio. We're a little bit underweight in that currently. That's why I'm purchasing up some more SCHD. But there's a reason why. We like diversification. We don't want to only be exposed to Apple, Hershey, 3M, John Deere, Waste Management, J&J, and Realty Income. We want to have broad diversification among a bunch of different stocks, and that is exactly what SCHD does for us. Provides us diversification to companies like Merck & Co., Pfizer, Amgen, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, IBM, Texas Instruments, and I could keep on scrolling and keep naming off companies. Now, there are a few companies you'll see on the list, or at least one in particular, that I do own, that being 3M. And there are some companies on this list that I would purchase a little bit more of, like Pepsi. However, by and large, these are companies I'm not going to go out and purchase myself for a few reasons. Number one, I don't know too much about these businesses, nor do I have the time. I'm a college student. I have a girlfriend. I have a life, right? I have school. I have all these other things. Work. That's a big one I should have pointed out. I have all these other things going on that don't allow me to do research on Merck & Co., Pfizer, Amgen, IBM, Texas Instruments, Verizon, Lockheed Martin, Altria. All these companies I can't keep up with. What I can keep up with is over all of my portfolios, about 20 or so individual positions. And I think realistically, I have 12 individual stocks, maybe 15, okay? I can keep up with that, but I can't keep up with more than that. So ETFs provide good diversification. They give me exposure to all these companies. But that's the other key component. I already have exposure to these companies. I have nothing against Merck & Co., Pfizer. I'm going to name these a lot. Home Depot, Verizon. Actually, I like these companies. Of course, I don't necessarily understand the whole picture of them, but I do like them. I see their names. I know they pay good dividends. I know they're good quality businesses. BlackRock, 3M, right? I even own, like I said, 3M. But I already have exposure. And if I do the math, and of course this is going to be very simple mathematics, I own about 3.252 shares of SCHD, or $257.30 like we discussed. Now, making that number 250 and assuming that these percentages have always been the same, which I can tell you they have not always been the same, because market caps and market values change, right? So the amount or how much of this ETF that they make up varies. At one point, Coca-Cola was actually a larger or the largest portion of this ETF. I would own roughly $11.62 of Merck, roughly $10.85 of Pfizer, and roughly $10.67 of Coke. I skipped Amgen because just to get the point right, but you could continue to go down this list and analyze how much of each of these companies I own or have exposure to through SCHD. Again, given that the percentages have always stayed the same and they haven't. However, I have exposure, and really the only overlapping company at this point is 3M. You can go down the whole entire list here. The only company that I have direct exposure to within this ETF is 3M. And there's companies in here that pay good dividends that I will never directly invest in. I don't even know what they are. Sturm Ruger, don't have a clue. City Holding, not a single clue. Cohen and Steers, couldn't tell you what they do. I do know what American Eagle is. Bank of Hawaii Corp. I'm assuming it's a bank that operates in Hawaii. I don't know. Bank OZK. Don't know. I do know what H&R Block is, Western Union, and as you get up the list, you start to see some bigger companies you've heard of before: Whirlpool, Hasbro, Kellogg, Best Buy. Let's see here, Paramount, Fifth Third. Okay, so there are big names in here that we've heard of that we don't have the time to understand, and then there's also big names in here that we might understand, but we already have exposure to. So why double up? If I were to purchase Coca-Cola, for example, and just like some of the other holdings in here, own maybe, $64 or $60 for easy math, at that current exposure to SCHD, I would actually own roughly $70.67 because I'm getting extra exposure on top of already owning the stock. Now, this is a much larger problem with VOO, VTI, these bigger ETFs, and then the big cap tech companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft. If you're individually owning those positions on top of having a lot of exposure to those bigger VTI and VOO, those bigger ETFs, you're doubling up on a lot of things. And maybe we'll talk about that in another video, but that's the reason why. Again, I don't have a problem with these companies, but why would I provide extra exposure when I don't really need to? Now, if I really believed in Pfizer, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, IBM, not that I don't, but if I really did, I could purchase additional stock. 3M has a good yield. I understand the business. I like the company. I like the products, right? We've talked about how everything in this back frame here is all hung up with 3M, and I can understand how they function. Thus, I own some individual stock. Pepsi is one I would get more exposure to, and maybe I will in the future, just don't right now, okay? So that's why I own SCHD. It gives me the diversification, and that's why I will never own some of those stocks on the list, specifically because I don't need additional exposure to those companies. So with that being said, that about wraps up this video. Like I said, thank you so much for joining me, for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you can apply that to your portfolio if necessary, if applicable. Never financial advice, of course. I hope that you all have a great day. I hope you'll subscribe. That way we can push forward onto 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for watching this video, and take care.